Hi everyone and welcome to the Rise Project. My name is Aaliyah and in today's videos we are going to be making quesadillas. Now quesadillas are fantastic. The ones we're making today are actually vegetarian and you can also freeze leftovers. They're incredibly frugal to make and will cost much less than a takeaway if you're making these from scratch. So without further ado, let's get into this video because quite frankly those quesadillas are making me very hungry right now. Now before I started cooking, I gave the counters a good wipe down and I've made sure all the surfaces are clean, and I will be cleaning as I go along to save time at the end of the process. So to make this incredibly frugal and tasty dish, I will be starting by peeling and chopping an onion. Go at a speed that is suitable for you guys. You don't have to go fast, but if you're more confident with a knife and you want to go faster than what the pace is of mine in the video, by all means do so. You can use a red onion or a brown onion. It makes no difference in this recipe because the flavour comes a lot more from the herbs and the spices that you will be adding. So for the purpose of this video, I had brown onions and that's what I've used. But don't be afraid of using a red onion if that's what you've got lying around. Now once you've chopped up your onion, you're going to heat some oil in a pan. Here I'm using a wok and I'm going to then fry off the onion until it's nice and soft and light brown. Now you do need to do this on a low to medium heat. If you go too high you will end up burning your onion, and nobody really likes the taste of burnt onion in anything, so we don't really want that. This will take a few minutes. Don't forget to keep stirring the onion mixture because you don't want your onion to stick to the pan either. And once it is golden brown and cooked through, we will then be adding the spices. This recipe is a simplified version of much more complicated ones that you can find on YouTube. However, we want taste and we want frugal food and we want food that is going to be healthy too. So we have a reduced amount of fat in this recipe. We also don't have any additives or preservatives, and it's nice tasty food that we hope you and your family will enjoy. So after about 4 minutes on a medium heat or low heat, if that's what you prefer, you will have onions that look like this, which are lightly golden brown and cooked. To this, I'm adding my spice mix, which is the little pack that you will have found in your food bag. And I'm adding that, and I'm going to cook it through for at least about 2 minutes to make sure the spices get cooked through, because raw spice doesn't taste as nice as cooked spice. So we're going to give it a good stir, make sure it doesn't get stuck to the bottom, and we're going to cook it through. Now once you've cooked that spice through, what you're going to do is add the passata, which is the sieved tomatoes, to the onion and spice mixture. Now, if you haven't got any passata, you can use a tin of chopped tomatoes, and that will pretty much do the same job. However, you may need to cook it down for a bit longer to thicken up the sauce, but that's the only adjustment you really need to make. Now I'm going to add in about 200 millilitres of water to the passata mix, and I'm then going to cover it and bring it up to the boil for about 5 minutes. This will help the sauce cook and give it a nice tomatoey taste rather than a raw tomato taste. Whilst it's boiling or cooking, I will be keeping an eye on the actual sauce, and I will be occasionally checking up on it and giving it a stir to make sure it doesn't stick to the pan. Every time you're in the kitchen, it is always worth keeping an extra eye on a pan, especially when it's got liquids in, to make sure nothing boils over, and to give it a stir. And if you find things are bubbling over in a pan, turn down the heat. You don't have to worry about anything else, just turn down the heat, and again, keep an eye on it. As you can see here in my pan, the heat is building up, and I can see that, and that's absolutely fine. If your pan lid is hot, always make sure you put something on, such as a glove, before lifting the lid up. These lids are really good that we have here in the actual kitchen, and it wasn't hot at all, so I was able to handle it without an actual oven glove or other type of glove to protect my hand from heat. So after 5 minutes, this is what I'm left with. The passata mix has reduced down, and it's basically ready for me to add the vegetables. And here you can see I'm adding the frozen vegetables. They haven't been defrosted, guys. I'm adding frozen vegetables straight from the pack. You don't need to defrost them. I'm adding those to the pan, going to give it a good stir so that all the actual vegetables get covered in the tomato mixture. And then we're going to cook the vegetables for about 6 minutes. And then that's basically the filling for the quesadillas done. So give it a good stir. If you've got vegetables that are stuck together, gently tap it with your spoon. Here you can see me using a wooden spoon. I do prefer to work with wooden spoons because they rarely scratch pans. So I do prefer to use wooden spoons and wooden spatulas when I'm cooking. Now, once I've stirred all the vegetables together, I'm going to add in about 250 millilitres of water, and I'm then going to cover the pan, bring it up to the boil, so I'm increasing the heat in the pan, and I'm then going to allow the vegetables to cook for about 6 minutes, because that's how long it will basically take the vegetables to cook the way I like them. If you like your vegetables super soft, give them about 8 to 9 minutes. Now, whilst the vegetables are cooking, please keep an eye on the pan and give it a stir a couple of times during that time to stop it from boiling over, to stop anything from burning, and also to stop the vegetables from sticking to the pan and increasing your cleanup time, because we don't want to do that at all. And once your vegetables are cooked, this is basically what you're going to have. It's going to be a very dry vegetable mixture. Now, if you do end up having a lot of water left over in the mixture, what you can do is take off the lid and cook it for 3 to 4 minutes, stirring again to get the water to evaporate. Now here I'm using mini tortilla wraps to make these quesadillas. Of course you can use the large ones if you wish to. At the end of this video you will notice I'm using the larger ones that I'm going to be frying, and that's absolutely fine as well. If you do wish to use the larger tortilla wraps for this, you are going to cover half the actual tortilla wrap with the mixture, and then you're going to fold it and carefully shallow fry it. So here I am adding the vegetable mix to the actual tortilla, spreading it out in a thin layer, because realistically nobody likes a soggy quesadilla. So we're not going to overload it. We've added a thin layer of the actual mixture, and here I am now adding a layer of mozzarella cheese. You can of course replace this with another cheese if you wish to, or leave it out if you want to as well. Now I am using coriander in this recipe here today, but I know not everybody likes coriander as a herb, so you can leave that out too if you wish to. Now that looks and smells delicious as it is, but to fry off a quesadilla you do need another tortilla wrap, which will be placed on top and squished down to basically make a tortilla sandwich. So here I am giving it a nice squish down. Try to squish it down as much as you possibly can. That will help it no end when you're actually frying it. Now like I said, in the actual video you will notice that I'll be using the larger tortillas to basically fry off my quesadillas, and I find these are quite easy to use should you wish to use the larger ones. And how you would use these, like I said before, is you cover half the tortilla with the actual mixture. You will then add your cheese if you're using it, fold it over and then just fry it. To fry it, you're putting in 1 to 2 tablespoons of oil into a large pan big enough to hold the tortilla, and then you're going to fry it until lightly golden brown, and that will take about 1.5 minutes on each side. Please do this on a low heat and keep an eye on it. Repeat the process on the other side, and there you have it. Your quesadillas are ready, and don't they look amazing? Enjoy your quesadillas warm, because cold quesadillas don't really taste that nice. And like I said, leftovers can be frozen, so wrap them up nicely, put them in a freezer bag, and they will keep for a month in the freezer should you have any leftovers. Don't forget to let us know how you did with this recipe. We personally love these quesadillas in the offices because leftovers can easily be warmed up in the microwave to make an amazing lunch. We hope you've enjoyed cooking this recipe, guys, and until the next video, take care. Bye.